Another big jump up for gold price, another all-time high, and maybe you've convinced yourself that it's no big deal. It's just what happens. Well, I can come up with at least one reason why it is. So I don't know if you've been watching gold futures, but they just ran past $3,600. That alone isn't even the story, because not only did gold futures push above that $3,600 mark, it happened on a day when the US dollar also went up, which is strange. Normally the two move in opposite directions. Dollar goes up, gold goes down, dollar goes down, gold goes up. But that didn't happen this time. So what's driving the gold rally? That's probably a good place to start. Spot price ran to $3,546, and that is a 35% gain from the 2025 opening price of $2,624. So one driver, of course, is central bank demand. Foreign central banks now hold more gold than U.S. Treasuries in the reserves for the first time since 1996. Another driver is policy expectations, and this is the big one at the moment. The Fed is almost certain to cut rates by 25 basis points later this month. A lot of people would say that's the move that gold has been waiting on. And then you add in uncertainty over Trump's tariff battle going on in the courts, and you get investors grabbing for a hedge. Any port in a storm. So quick shout out to Summit Metals. If you're looking to buy gold and silver, they'll take care of you. They also buy it from you as well. Now, I know we don't sell our gold around here, but some do. And it's good to know your options. Back to the rally. What does this mean for us? As buyers, gold has gotten noticeably more expensive. Big surprise there. But in the reverse psychology of human behavior, higher prices actually are bringing in more buyers. And to a certain extent, that makes sense. If you're looking for a safe haven, you don't care about cheap, you care about safe. Still though, it's tough when the Perth Mint drops that hot new coin from the Lunar Series. You can't really skip those if you're a collector. Kind of a perfect trap. Maybe you were able to get away from the US Mint Liberty Sunflower. Maybe. But I don't see how you can skip the Lunar Horse. Horses are just harder to pass up than flowers. It's known. And from what I'm hearing, it's not just the crazy collectors. Two dealers that I spoke with recently said demand has not been cooling off at all. It's actually been the opposite. Now back to this 35% year-to-date performance for a minute. Gold is currently the top performing major asset of 2025. Bitcoin is up 19% year-to-date this year. ETH is up 30%. So let me say that again. Gold is outperforming Bitcoin and ETH so far this year. So put all this together, the rally might feel kind of weird. I think it does a little bit, but the price is not unsupported. Central bank demand, changing Fed policy, ongoing chaos, those are real drivers supporting higher gold prices. Now, that doesn't mean we won't see a pullback. I'd be surprised if we didn't, but it does mean these levels are not just an anomaly. So what do we think about buying now? Well, anyone who's been waiting and hoping for a pullback is now going on month 21. Waiting for the perfect price? Well, that hasn't worked any better this year than it did in 2024. Gold has only pulled back a few percentage points over the past 2 years, and each time we saw buyers stepping in, we saw prices hitting support, and we saw price pushing higher. So I've mentioned my 10 and 15% pullback levels. Those are levels that I watch for. If they hit, I buy more. Well, we haven't even come close to hitting those numbers. So what about selling? If you've been stacking for years, you might be looking at a double or even triple return. Maybe you want to pull some profit off the table. I've been hearing that sentiment, and I really don't fault anyone for it. I made a video a week or two back because so many people were talking about selling. Now, I assume for most people, selling would be more about timing than anything. You buy gold for the role that it's playing right now. This is not the logical time to get out, but some people have other things going on right now. I also get that some people see gold strictly as an investment. That's not how I see it. Others do. Maybe it's a means to some other end. Maybe you want to cash out, buy some land, whatever. I get it. If this does happen to be your exit, it's hard to argue the performance. So call up Summit Metals. They buy gold. And if you do, tell them I sent you. I don't get anything out of it, but I'm told that you might. Now, if we look back at history, in 1980, gold spiked to $850. That was an all-time high that lasted one day. It looked a little bit like this. I showed that scenario 3 weeks ago. This run is different. We have years of heavy central bank demand. We have strong retail support. Dollar uncertainty, lack of trust, a dozen other drivers. This time, it's not a one-day moonshot. This time, it's a structural rally. So if you caught that video about that one-day all-time high running up to $850, you also caught the part about it dropping 60% immediately following. So you might remember central banks were net sellers at the time. Today, they're the biggest buyers. In 1980, inflation was the big story. You had double-digit inflation. Today, it's inflation, it's debt, it's geopolitics, it's shifting monetary policy. You have a lot of things. Multiple drivers mean more support. So where does it go from here? Well, Kitco is quoting an analyst talking about a move to $4,000, how that's now in sight. I don't even see that as hyperbole. Again, I would never expect a straight line, but if resistance is broken in the mid-3600s like this article suggests, well, $3,800 comes pretty quickly. People are going to be talking about the $4,000 psychological barrier before we know it. So will we actually see $4,000 this year? Well, it depends really on a few big factors. A surprise rate cut, bigger than what's already expected and priced in, that could do it. Maybe some kind of policy chaos beyond the Federal Appeals Court decision on tariffs. It would have to be something very dramatic. Central bank demand stepping up even further, maybe. So there are possible storylines out there, but I still say no way. Now, I do have to admit that this year has made me look pretty conservative. I gave a probability band of 3,350 to 3,650 for gold in 2025, and we're already at the upper end of that range. Now, I still don't think we're going to see $4,000 gold in 2025, but the fact that we're actually talking about it without having to invent some kind of half-cocked story just shows how strong the momentum in the rally really is. So look, even if we don't see $4,000 gold this year, the bigger picture is really what matters. We've already watched gold blow through levels that felt like ceilings, $2,000 gone, $3,000 gone. Those ceilings turned into floors. And this is a lot less about a single price target because we keep blowing through them. It's more about a long-term trend. And I don't see that dropping. So let's call it good there. Let us know what you think about gold hitting $4,000 in 2025. Crazier things have happened, and you know it's a crazy time when you're buying but also telling others there's no shame in selling at these high prices. Big year for gold, and it's not over yet. So let us know what you think, and then while you're in the comments, be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you want to hear more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.